Thomas, go ahead.
Okay. Hey, buddy, do you have kind of a schedule for when you're working Oberg into the pitching?
Yes. Yeah, he's going to pitch here in a few days. We do have a schedule. I think it gets him about 8 games if everything goes according to plan. So, yes, we do have a schedule.
Okay, and just from what you've seen of him in bullpen sessions, live BP, and everything else, where is the stuff? How is he feeling? What is it?
Throwing the ball well, recovering very well. His last outing in a simulated game, fastball was in the low 90s. Breaking pitch looked great. Changeup looked great. So progressing in a nice manner. So we're excited about where Scott is physically.
Hey, one guy I didn't ask you about yesterday was Almani. It just looked like kind of a continuation of what you saw last year. What's next for him as far as what he's doing?
Well, stuff was good yesterday. I think self-admitted he was a little excited. The fastball was a little bit elevated for me and also for Yancey. Usually he throws some really good fastballs down the zone and elevates when he wants to. And the slider was good. I think the next step for him is just consistent performance, over the course of the season. Last year in 60 games, he had a nice year, relatively consistent from start to finish. Was really a guy that we could count on. Now the challenge for Yancey is to do that over a 162 game season, from April till October. So that's the challenge for him. I think he's ready for it. He's got service time now. He knows what this gig is all about. Now it's just up to him to perform and do it between the lines.
Hey, and just from what have you seen so far from Greg Bird? I know it's not a lot of at-bats in regular games, but first of all, does he look healthy? Secondly, what are you expecting from him?
Well, I think, he's come as advertised with, a professional at bat. I think that has stood out. I think there's strike zone awareness. I do think that he has good command of the strike zone, and that's been evident in his career with his on-base percentage and his ability to, swing at strikes and take balls. So that has been noticed here early. It's a small sample size of at-bats, obviously, but again, this guy knows his approach, and it's approach of, swinging at pitches in the strike zone. So we'll see how this plays out the rest of March. He's in there today. He'll get a number of at-bats today over in Glendale, but he's healthy. I think that's something that I think Greg will tell you first and foremost needs to happen. He needs to stay in the field. The last couple of years he's been banged up, but we're going to do everything we can in our power on the medical side to keep him healthy. And if Greg stays healthy, hopefully there's offensive production there.
Thank you, buddy.
Tracy?
Hey, buddy, with Rodriguez, he seems to feel like he's come along pretty good. Yesterday, I think the wind probably had a little bit to do with some of his struggles. But how do you evaluate the 2 times you've been able to see him so far?
Well, I like the fact that there's pitchability in there. He's got a 4-pitch mix of pitches. He manipulates the ball well. He has a plan. I like that. He has a plan to go about each and every at bat, and his stuff is major league quality. It's not going to overpower you, but there's enough weaponry in there to get the job done. But he's a very good competitor. He's got poise. It's a slow heartbeat. He's had success in the big leagues. So I think on a number of levels there could be a fit for him as a starting pitcher, a bullpen long man. His versatility, I think, works to his advantage. But he's a guy that knows what he's doing. He knows what he wants to do with the ball.
Right now, I assume, even though we're still a few weeks away, but you're looking at the possibility you might need a second guy to go into the rotation as opposed to just have one opening?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on Sensatella. He's had a little bit of a setback with the hamstring strain, but on that regard, he is feeling better which is great. He's going to throw up, off the mound today very lightly to test it. He's going to do some light jogging. So that's nice progress for Sensa. But there's a possibility that, we could be looking at a couple starters as we get nearer April 1st.
And trying to do this in a diplomatic way, but in some ways, not that you wanted to see Nolan Arenado leave, but in some ways for Josh Fuentes, do you think it's a little bit of a opening for him to just kind of relax and be more himself?
Yeah, I don't know whether you guys have talked to Josh about this. I'm sure you have. I think, Josh, I think his identity now is his own. He's not Nolan's cousin as it relates to the Rockies. He's Josh Fuentes of the Rockies. So, again, I'm not sure whether that, liberates him or not, but, probably a better question for him. But, he's playing great. He's loose. He's free-spirited, which I love. He loves to play. He's got a great passion to play. He's got great energy every day that he walks through the doors and comes into the complex. He's a ball player. So I guess some of those questions about his cousin can probably be best answered by him. But, he seems to be in a really good spot right now.
I mean, when you look at how his path to the big leagues was, it's a pretty bizarre trip, don't you think?
Yeah, it really is. You look at, a kid from Orange County, went to a junior college right there off Interstate 5, ends up at a 4-year program in Missouri, not a Division I school. How he got out there, I'm not quite sure. Got signed by the Rockies, started his ascent through every level, and he's performed. And the thing that I like, and we like as coaches and baseball guys, is that he's gotten better, and he's done it through hard work. I mean, this guy is a tremendous worker, but he's got passion and work ethic, and when that happens, you usually end up getting better because you put the time in, and there's a will in there to succeed, and Josh has that.
I will finish up with Kevin Henry. Kevin, go ahead.
Morning, buddy.
Morning, Kevin.
A couple of questions. How long is today's game scheduled to go?
Today is 7 over there with the White Sox.
Thank you. And I'm working on a story on Jose Briceño.
Okay.
Can you tell me kind of what you've seen from him in camp so far?
This guy, has some experience behind him. I like the way that he carries himself, through the day. He's got confidence in himself. He's got a personality that integrates with the coaching staff, his teammates, and the pitcher-catcher relationship is something that I feel that is one of his strengths. He understands the position. He works well with the pitching staff. Technically, he's got a good arm. He blocks the ball well. His hands are fine. This guy's caught in the big leagues for a reason, and he's back to this organization where he once was. I think there's a comfort level to that for him. He's got a little bit of pull power. He swings the bat all right. We're keeping our eye on him for sure, Kevin. He's a guy that projects to, look to be a guy that we potentially could count on.
Thanks, buddy.
Yep.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate the time this morning.
Okay, guys. All right. Have a good day.